Have a Cup of Tea with Cal Doonican.
Oh, hello. Absolutely fantastic to see you. You're magnificent. Well, don't just stand there. Come in, you beautiful people. Eddie, do go and put the kettle on. Bloomin' shake, eh? Welcome, everyone, to Have a Cup of Tea with Cal Doonican. Now, the thing we need to tell you straight away is that Cal isn't here in the room with us this week. No, the dear boy has received some bad news. He's off attending to family business, so he's on compassionate leave. What's a woke nonsense? Don't be a bellend, Eddie. Someone might take you seriously. Won't go in time. So it's just Eddie, Daniel and I this week. And a change is as good as a rest, is it not? However, I must say, Cal has sent us a recording. To be honest, I think it's recorded in his van without his usual equipment. Not the sound quality you're coming to expect, and he may have had a glass of whiskey. He likes Jameson's if you'd like to sponsor us. We're, again, looking at the power of our minds in promoting emotional well-being, and as usual, there will be some music. Cal has left us a song to play for today, and that's also him doing the guitar twiddling in the background. The song for this week is It's Beautiful to Be Here, recorded by Robot Radio, a song about, my interpretation anyway, striving through and surviving the challenges in life so that we can enjoy its beauties and pleasure, which in turn are made even more glorious in comparison to the struggles faced. And we'll finish off with a little therapeutic something that Cal has left for us if time allows. Does that sound okay? Great. Here we go. Smashing. So you've all got your drink of choice? Right then. So last week, Cal admitted that there were 3 aspects to this podcast. Well, before he skived off, we decided actually that there are 4 dimensions. In no particular order, here they are. Number 1, promoting emotional well-being. What TF does that mean? Well, I will fucking tell you. It means looking after our mental health, doing stuff to promote our happiness, contentment and ability to keep going. Number 2, therapy for Cal. Lord knows he needs it, but you know what? We all need it. Are you getting any? And let it be said, if it's therapeutic for Cal, it's therapeutic for us. 3, promoting Cal's songs. Bless him, he loves to write songs. I believe he also finds that therapeutic. And I know, once every 10 years or so, someone tells him they like one of his songs, and that's more than enough to keep him going. And 4, the reality of our lives. Some might say it's politics. We'd say we're expressing our points of view. Yeah, we've decided that in these times we don't want to be sitting on the fence. And as the vast majority of the media is owned by the billionaires, and as they're also pumping their money into AI, bots and goons, pushing their right-wing, intentionally divisive hate agenda, we want to stand up and do what we can to combat that. Anyway, introduction over. We've got our drinks, you've got yours. Cal's cassette tape is in the player. Push the button, will you, Leroy? Thanks, mate.
So, over the course of the year, we're going to be looking at this year, 2026. We're going to be thinking about lots of aspects of emotional well-being, looking after ourselves emotionally and mentally, and again, it's nothing that you need to go and
Is he tired or what?
Yes, it'd be wonderful to go and do this stuff with a therapist and go and try and find one.
I'd say...
Ask your GP, whatever, if you need some help.
I don't know.
Or equally, when we're...
Should we edit this?
Don't look after ourselves physically. We can't all afford a personal trainer. You can sometimes get some physiotherapy on the NHS.
Oh, he sounds like
When the
he's
dreams
asleep.
get in, hopefully we'll all be able to get NHS counselling and other stuff again, free NHS dentistry. That'd be beautiful. Let's pray and hope for them. But in the meantime, under the current regimes, the current billionaire-owned governments, we need to fend for ourselves, don't we? So, yeah, we need to look after our own, try and do what we can to look after our own emotional well-being. So over the course of this year, I'll be discussing lots of stuff to try and empower us. Me and my mates, Leroy, Daniel, and the other one, what's his name? Eddie. So, yeah, but one of the things that will get talked about a lot is the power of what we can do with our minds, as we talked earlier, self-talk and sort of, they call it cognitive work, the work we do with our thinking, what we do with our thoughts. And we can achieve wonderful things by questioning lots of our thinking. We think, well, we just think the way we think. And we do get into habits about thinking, and we do tend to develop automatic thoughts over our lifetimes. And some of those automatic thoughts aren't helpful. Sometimes they're irrational and causes lots of stress and aggravation. But if we were ever to question them or challenge them, then they don't. Often some of those thoughts that cause us pain and aggravation, I might even say usually, those pain-inducing, stress-inducing thoughts don't stand up to examination, logical examination, and they are beautiful to be worked with in a cognitive way. So, for example, let's look at flags. A source of stress in our nation at the moment is the flag situation. So, apologies to people in the UK for explaining this, but at the moment, for the people elsewhere, at the moment there are lots of flags turning up on lampposts in our country, all around the country. Some people have been putting up the Union Jack, so that's seen as the British flag. So that's the one with the red cross in the middle, and then a St Andrew's cross. So that's the diagonal sort of cross, white, and there's some blue in there. So it stands for England, Scotland, Wales, and the North of Ireland, Northern Ireland, as it's called in the British Empire. So that's the British flag, the Union Jack. And then there's also the St George's flag. That's the flag of England, being placed up on the lamppost. Now, it's causing a lot of division. It has been identified through legitimate sources that a lot of these flags have been funded by right-wing parties, billionaires, and although the open explanation is that it's trying to raise the pride of the country, there's an awful lot of whispering, and it's backed up by evidence that there's lots of right-wing groups behind this, and the whispered, heavily whispered, shouted in some places, message is that, people who aren't historically white or British are going to be made. The suggestion is that these flags are intended to make people uncomfortable. So that's a heavy suggestion spread around the marketplace. And then the reaction, understandably, is lots of people feel angry about that flags. They feel upset that their neighbours from other countries might be feeling made unwelcome by these flags, intimidated by these flags, etc., etc. So, yeah, there's been a desire, a backlash, people wanting to take the flags down, which, then gets the right-wing press and what the billionaires want is for that division, that argument. Oh, look, they're not proud of our country. They hate our country. They want it to be colonised by foreigners, so that all the right-wingers get a chance to spit their hate out then, and it's justified because lefties have been taking the flags down, they hate the flag, etc., etc. So, from the mental health solution, from an emotional well-being solution, I would say we, as a nation, need to not let right-wing fascists and their billionaires and their right-wing politicians and the goons they're paying or conning into sticking flags up. We need to not allow them to create how we see the St George's flag and the Indian flag in our minds. We need to create, as individuals and as a nation, hold on to what those flags mean. So for me, as somebody of Irish heritage, I could see the Union Jack as a sign of oppression, the empire, etc., etc. Or the butcher's flag, it's the butcher's apron, it's has been described in the past. Or I could see it as I do, which is it's a flag that is waved when I'm cheering on people who look like me and my mates, multinational kids, at the Olympics. A representation of this country. People of all nations have come and lived here together and become mates, and we've got a wonderful, diverse community, and it's fantastic. And so when I see the Union Jack on the flagpole, I'm thinking, yeah, that's supporting our Olympians and our multicultural society now. That makes much more logical sense than saying it represents an empire from 300 years ago that went round destroying foreigners and stealing from other countries. So,
I think I can see where he's going. It's a bit rambling, isn't it? Oh, he does have a tendency to ramble. I call it going on. But I think it's clear enough what he's saying. He's definitely opened that bottle of whiskey we gave him for the journey, though. I reckon he started another bottle, bless him. He means well. I think you're right, though, Leroy. Good place to stop and play the song, that, where you stopped it. Yeah, it's a good place to stop and play the song. Am I right in thinking that we're controversially playing the same song as last week? We are. But what with Cal not being here and the song itself also clearly being a celebration of beautiful multicultural Birmingham, the Midlands, the UK, it seems fitting. It is beautiful to be here. Yeah, and we can play the robot radio version. Excellent. Oh, cracking idea. Here it is then. Wow, bloomy lovely that was. They am great guitarists, they? Fingers Wah-Wah and Marco Polo. Absolutely brilliant. And Terence, Mr. Tickle, what a fantastic drummer. Top quality stuff. Oh yes, wonderful. Very good. Who's that? Oh? No. What's the matter? Where's the bishop? Where's the bishop? No, very good. Yeah. Now back to Cal and his rambling. Where's your part of tape, Leroy? Oh, there it is. Here it is. Back to Cal then, lads.
That's one there. The St George's flag. Same thing for me. In my head, that supports the England team. Now, I'm happy to cheer on the Ireland team. I even more happily cheer on the England team because I've lived here all my life. And that England team, like our country, is full of people who have descended from people from other nations. The wonderful Jack Grealish, the wonderful Declan Rice, young Irish boy. Kane is an Irish name. You can go through that whole team and find people from, white people whose heritage is outside these islands, or partially, and people whose skin colour suggest their heritage has come from other countries. And look, fantastic. We're all unified, beautiful. They're playing for England. Hopefully soon we will win the World Cup again. So that flag up there is encouraging England, a beautiful, multinational, multi-ethnicity, beautiful people with loads of wonderful food and humour. And my life has definitely been enriched by living in Birmingham and all the fantastic cultures, communities we have. So, that's what the England flag means to me. And it's important that's what I don't let people who want to spread poison influence my thinking on the flags. I would suggest that, ideally for me, we all try and think like that. To me, it makes more logical sense than that the Union Jack supports the multinational Olympic team. Currently the Winter Olympics is going on. Before it was the women's rugby team. There's always something. And the sports England rugby team, again, multinational England cricket team, and multinational shows all the heritages of those that are here on these part of the British Isles. And that's more logical to see them in that way, because that's the current decades, that's the decades of my lifetime, than to try and make out that it means anti-Islam as some kind of symbol of the Crusades. So, that's flags for you. And that's about that's cognitive work, changing how we think about things. And by doing that, we explore our feelings about something. And I don't know what the political answer is to the flags, but I do know that that's we're onto I do believe that that's what the people who put the flags up there. They want people to argue. They want to cause division, and it's best if we don't let them. And to be fair, they would be dangerous if they were falling down. Most of them appear to be quite well secured. So, whoever's put them up needs to be legally responsible. So I would suggest, because if one wasn't put up properly and it fell off and blinded a motorcyclist, for example, leading to their death, that person who's put them up should be sued. So perhaps they'll need a licence to stick up anything up on lampposts. Could charge them as well, couldn't we? Raise some money for the local council. Birmingham is skint for a start. So there you go. Sending loads of love out there and calls for unity. I know I have a go at the billionaires, but if we can divide against that tiny, who are untouchable anyway, that's not too bad as a division. The rest of us are united, is it? Anyway, so that's that for now.
Oh, is that the end then? Bit sudden, ain't?
Yes, well, I admit there was more, but I had to edit it.
loads of background noise, and yes, he kept using confusing words. Ha ha ha, yeah, like multinational instead of multicultural. Yes, that type of thing. Ah, well, it's all good fun between mates, ain't it? Having a nice cup of tea. Is that it then? Have we finished episode 8? Well, it is, but I have left one of the outtakes in. You know, like they do in films. You know, at the end when the credits are rolling. I like to stay for that bit because it often has my name on. I'm an actor, you know, people. I don't know if you realise that. Anyway, he was clearly well out of it by then. But I think the point he's making is a good one. And I've got to admit, I left my summary in it too, just so Cal feels a bit better. Because, well, whilst I was editing, gosh, it's a hard job, I also had a little drinky too. Anyway, everyone, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Come back soon for another episode of Have a Cup of Tea with Cal Doonican. Play the outtakes, Danny. Thank you.
Oh, well, that was unusual, wasn't it? Not quite sure what that was all about. Anyway, it was a bit psychedelic, wasn't it? Not sure if we should just cut that out or try and avoid the use of the word should. I'm not sure if it would be a good idea to cut that out, but I don't know. We're all friends here. We're all having a cup of tea. Some people maybe even be drinking some alcoholic beverages like I think Cal was, you know. It's okay, isn't it? I think what he was trying to say was he hopes that people will make their own podcasts and try and even up a bit of the imbalance between all the broadcasting that nasty Farage gets, and bit more positivity, a bit more promotion of the wonderful, diverse nation we live in its modern beauty, not harking back to times that probably never really existed. Anyway, thanks for listening.